Glamorgan showed their T20 blast potential after easing to a 7-wicket victory with an over to spare against one of the pre-tournament favourites, Essex, in Cardiff. Put in, the Eagles made a solid enough start through William Buttleman and Tom Wesley. Wesley went after Rodri Smith but skied the shot to Nick Selman after making 7. Buttleman continued on his knock, a mix of the sublime and the ridiculous, as he and Michael Pepper took the total to 49 at the end of the 6 overs of power play. Pepper then joined in the fun by going big off Andrew Salter. Buttleman attempted the same off the spinner, but his innings was ended as his sweep was top-edged to Selman, the batsman on his way for 36. Essex were on 80 for 2 at the halfway stage of their innings, but never pushed on once Pepper somehow fell to a drag down by Marnus Labuschagne to depart on 29. Paul Walter was then undone by a quicker ball from Salter. The Eagles on 88 for 4 after 12, with the Glamorgan Slowies doing an excellent job. 2 boundary-free overs followed before Jimmy Neesham decided he had to press on, this 6 bringing up 3 figures. Feroz Kushi matched that effort, but the home side, for the most part, continued to keep a tight rein on the scoring. And the wickets helped too. Kusi falling for 17, nicking a cut off Tim van der Houten behind, leaving with his team on 120 for 5 at the start of the 17th over. Just when a big finish was required for the visitors, the opposite occurred. Neesham just couldn't get enough on a shot to release the pressure and was caught in the deep for 21. But a target of 154 surely had Glamorgan on top, especially if they made a good start to their reply, and that target was reduced by 20 in the first 2 overs. They lost David Lloyd, who plugged a hit off Jack Plon to Walter after making 14. But that only brought in Labuschagne, who began his knock quietly by watching Selman go after Plom as 48 were taken off the target inside the power play. Selman soon cleared the rope a second time, Glamorgan reaching 72 for 1 after 10, leading a further 82 from the remaining and making light of the task at hand. Selman reached his 3rd T20 half-century off his 33rd delivery, a knock which he made look easy and one which always had his side firmly in the box seat. And there they remained, Labuschagne making sure of that by going after Plom, the host left to find only 29 runs from the final 5 overs. The wicket of Selman for 65, made from 45 deliveries, well held off his own bowling by Harmer, was all a little too late for the visiting team. The prolific Labuschagne had eased to a 50 from 39 deliveries, and he now looked to finish the game off. Alas, that he failed to do, as with 9 needed, he drilled Sam Cook to Jamie Porter to fall for 59, but it was another excellent knock from a man who rarely fails to impress, whether in the colours of Australia or Glamorgan. 5 balls later, the match was finished off by Colin Ingram, this boundary taking the Welshmen to their target with a full over unused. It was a highly professional team performance from the hosts, winning with 6 balls to spare by 7 wickets to lay down a marker in this competition ahead of their next match at high-flying Surrey on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to tell you there is one late change to the Glamorgan team. Chris Cook has been replaced by Tom Cullen, who will be keeping wicket and taking over captaincy this evening. David Lloyd.
Very good evening and welcome to Sophia Gardens for this T20 action between Glamorgan and Middlesex. News is that Glamorgan have won the toss, decided to bat first, but there is a late change in the Glamorgan side in that captain Chris Cook has withdrawn and he's been replaced by Tom Cullen, and David Lloyd will lead Glamorgan this evening. So Glamorgan batting first. Paul Stirling is going to bowl first. David Lloyd and Colin Ingram opening the batting, so that's a change straight away. And it'll be Stirling to bowl from the Cathedral Road end, and there's a push and run from Selman, and they go through for a single as the throw hits the stumps from Finn at mid-off. Very good evening to Kevin Hand of BBC Radio London. Middlesex unchanged?
They are indeed, yeah. After a defeat last night, a bit of a controversial one and a rough one, I think, for Middlesex. They'll be feeling pretty sore still after that. I mean, they'll have put it away by now, won't they? But trip down overnight, stay in the hotel and get up today, shake it all off and go again. But yeah, funny old one. We'll pick the bones of that over the next hour or so, I guess. We will indeed. Colin Ingram opening the batting for maybe for the first time for Glamorgan in this format. Left-hander as Stirling comes round the wicket to him, and Ingram drives to mid-off. Finn fields, and there is no run. Well, Middlesex lost in the dark against Gloucestershire last night. Glamorgan have brought this fixture forward because of floodlight problems, as Stirling bowls to Ingram, who gets tucked up and the ball hits his pads and runs back down the wicket. Simpson fields. But we have actually got 4 out of the 5 floodlight pylons in use. Now, I'm not quite sure how that's possible today, but it wasn't possible in the dark last week. Stirling bowls and Ingram straight drives up towards long on. We'll take the single. Green with the fielding down beneath us. 2 without loss. Glamorgan, who also have Andrew Salter and James Wheel making way. Callum Taylor and Tim van der Hoogten come into the side. So at the last moment, with Cook's absence, it's 3 changes as Stirling bowls and Selman drives to mid-off and will take the single. Action-packed start to our commentary then. We'll bring in Mike Powell very shortly, former Glamorgan and Kent batsman, here on BBC Sport Online and on the Glamorgan website, as Ingram goes big and that launches that one somewhere into the pavilion, seating away to our left. Stirling just straying a bit in line there, and Ingram gets his first maximum. Glamorgan 9 for 0 after 1. Mike Powell.
We've had a bit of a change-up this morning. Obviously, change-up of captain, change-up of personnel in batting line-up. So Ingram's found himself at the top of the order, where he's normally been batting sort of 4. Not sure of the reasons behind that. We all know that Ingram's a ridiculously powerful hitter of the ball. She's just shown the last ball going for a huge 6 over square leg, but possibly he is a slow starter. Usually it just gives him a little bit more time, get your best players in as early as possible. Maybe that's the thinking behind it.
Here's Merta. Oh, what's up? They're looking at the ball already. Umpire Bainton's been called up by Merta. Have a look at it. And yeah, the umpires are good. Has he? No, well, whatever it was, he's happy with it. Maybe just something needed cutting off already. Didn't see much happening though. But Merta showing it to umpire Bainton. He's ready to go though from the river end. 9 without loss. Selman waits on 2 on slip. That's Paul Stirling goes down and Merta's in. Bowls, and this is run to the short third man, Blake Cullen. There's no run. There's a deep square and a deep point as well. Those are the 2 back. Merta back in 2020 action. The hero 2008.
Good on him. Him and Darren Stevens flying the flag. How old is he now?
He is 40 in August.
He's looked like that for the last 15 years. The rounded shoulders.
He has. He still going strong. Still off that long run up as well. He turns on the edge of the 30-yard circle as well, doesn't he? He's past the umpire, bowls, and length ball that's pushed back up the track for a single just out of Mercer's reach, and Finn completes the fielding at mid-off. 10 without loss. Selman is on to 3. 2008. Where were you then?
Facing them.
It for
Glamorgan.
No, so because the final in 2008 was against Kent.
There we go. I moved Kent 2012-13.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know if Mercer was still playing then. I think he may have been, in terms of T20, because he stopped for a number of years. I think he went 6 years without a T20 appearance for Middlesex at one point.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but a little bit of swing with that white ball in the opening couple of overs. He's in now, bowls, and this ball's turned away into the onside for a single, a very comfortable single as well, as Green comes down from mid-on to collect. 11 without loss.
You'll notice it's interesting how you use him, I think. What the makeup of the side would have been in Middlesex then. His skills haven't changed over the years, been very much the same. An immaculate line length, just wobbling it around. Very frustrating as a batsman, highly skillful bowler.
I mean, if it was clear blue sky tonight, would Mercer be playing? Maybe not. The last night it was really overcast, and he was back in. Nathan Souter had got injured earlier in the week, fielding out on the boundary. As here is Mercer, he bowls slow ball, which is driven up to mid-off, and well bowled, just taking the pace off that one outside the off stump. Selman watchful as he pushes to Finn, and no run. It is Finn at mid-off on this occasion. For the last delivery it was indeed Green. They seem to be switching for whatever reason, those two. 11 without loss it remains.
A change of field there, just taking the slip out and moving him into mid-wicket.
They went very aggressive last night, Middlesex, with that slip in for a good while. And Stirling bowled the first over yesterday, only went for 4. Mercer's first 2 deliveries of the next over were dot balls. As he comes in now, he bowls in a length ball, just dragging it back slightly. He picks, a leg by is picked up by Selman, so he remains on 3. 12 without loss. Good over this from Mercer. But as Ingram comes back on, yeah, they're switching for the left-hand and right-hand of the mid-off, aren't they? Mid-off and mid-on. Is that height from Finn at mid-off? That they want the taller at mid-off? I can't particularly think of the reason why they're switching. Unless it happens all the time and I've never noticed it.
No, that's quite strange.
They're switching whether it's the left-hand or right-hand of the mid-off and mid-on, which is a bit odd. As his Mercer, he's in, bowls, and that one takes a leading edge all along the floor, though. In front of Morgan. I say all along the floor, it chopped wide and short of Morgan, and they've come back for 2. Deep cover coming around